Chiefs season for 2020. How is it going to look? I already did the Chiefs review for the 2019 season, so I'll check that up there. If you guys haven't seen the season review for that one, go over some of the key stats and some of the failings, I guess, and what went well for the Chiefs in 2019. But 2020 is a new year. They'll be looking to improve on that dead even record they had last season where they finished kind of bottom end of the playoff spots. They still made the playoffs, which is decent given all the injuries they had, but it was 7 wins, 2 draws, and 7 losses. So they'll definitely be looking to improve. The big story of the Chiefs, I guess, for 2020 is the fact that Warren Gatland is taking over from Colin Cooper. I think there's a fair bit of expectation around the work that he's going to do with the Chiefs team, and there's a general feeling that they were underperforming under Cooper. The injuries when Cooper was in charge were horrendously bad, so whether that improves or not, I mean, if you followed Wales under Gatland, they had a ton of injuries as well, so sometimes that's just bad luck. Hopefully they get all their training, the balance right of working the guys hard but not overworking them so they get more prone to injury, but I guess we'll see. Talk about the schedule, talk about the squad and some of the expectations. Like I said, if you're interested in the stats from last year, that's in the other vid. But yeah, Chiefs' schedule is okay. It starts off kind of tough and I think it finishes pretty well. They have a couple of like home trips early, so away to the Blues, home to Crusaders, away to the Sunwolves, home to the Brumbies, so not ideal start, a bye, and then they've got a trip to South Africa bookended by home games, which is again not that easy because you got Hamilton, South Africa, Hamilton, so it's a lot of travel, but of the end of their season they've got 3 of their final 4 games are at home. The last one is away to the Crusaders, but I guess at least it's in New Zealand. So they don't have to travel even to Australia. So if they do need some points to push their way up the table at the end of the season is going to be the time to do it. So yeah, I think the schedule is not the best, but hey, it could be worse. So if they can pick up those points in the first half, then they should be really pushing for a high spot by the end of the year. In terms of the squad, there's a fair few guys who have left. Aside from the coach, Kane Hames, Liam Polwart, Brodie Retallick, Mitch Jacobson, Jesse Parete, Talani Siu, Jack DeBrasini, Ata Morkiola, Marty McKenzie, among others, have all gone. I think if you're a Chiefs fan, the ones you'd be most concerned about will definitely Brodie Retallick, maybe Jesse Parete, because when I look at their current squad, the one area that I guess is slightly concerning is perhaps the second row. But the guys coming in, Aaron Cruden, not bad, eh? Quinn Tupaia, there's a lot of excitement about what kind of, I guess, the talent that he can bring to that Chiefs side. Sam McNichol's back after having a bit of injury time off, and a bunch of other guys from the Mitre 10 Cup. If you guys have got any insights into them, do pass them on, because I didn't get to see much of the Mitre 10 Cup in the year just gone. I had a look through the squad and picked like what's a potential starting 15. You could have Moley, Harris, and Laulala in the front row, which is that's a lot of All Blacks. The second row, like I said, is where it gets a bit sketchy. Maybe Tyler Ardron and Michael Allardyce. I'm not a big Allardyce fan. I think he gives away too many penalties. Ardron's Mr. Flexible, can play second row, back row. And there's a few Chiefs players like that, but they don't really have that out-and-out player like Brodie Retallick, basically. But he's always going to be impossible to replace. Back row, kind of like the front row, they've got a lot of depth. Boshier, Jacobson, and Sam Cane, potentially, but there's a lot of combinations you could put together for them. Brad Weber, 9, Aaron Cruden, 10. Manu and ALB in the midfield, and then maybe Alamalo, McKenzie, and Wainui in the back 3. You could put Stevenson in there. Other guys I haven't mentioned, like I said, Tupaia, Nana Setoro. So there's plenty of outside backs. Nankivell, Ledger, so the midfield is looking fairly decent. Tian Falcon could be another guy to back up at 10 if you don't want to play Cruden or McKenzie there. Tatoiroa Tahuriorangi is a pretty good backup for Brad Weber as well. He's an All Black. Mitch Brown, he's another one of those guys that can kind of slot back row, second row. Soakula is there, Takiaho, O'Neill, Ta'avao, and Ross. So there's a bunch of guys in the front row, bunch of guys in the back row. 9 and 10, I think there's very good coverage. The outside backs for sure. maybe the midfield, but Nankerville's good. So I think it's just if they get some locks that go down, that could be a bit of a tough situation. But overall, I think that Chiefs squad, it still looks pretty loaded despite the guys that they've lost. Second favourite they are with the bookies, so I guess someone sees that Chiefs squad the same way I do. I guess part of that is also the Gatland factor. Definitely expected to lift the team, and we'll see if that happens. If you look at last season, they lost at home to the Highlanders, Sunwolves and Lions. That's one area Gatland will be looking to turn around, just really turn FMG Stadium into something of a fortress. How will the style change? That will be an interesting one. The Chiefs, traditionally a pretty exciting team in recent years, lots of offloads, and just, generally very exciting counter-attacking play. Gats wasn't really known for that so much at Wales, like that Wales team he had that won the Grand Slam and went to the World Cup, very controlled. So less kind of flashy, offloady Super Rugby stuff and more, controlled, gritty, and gonna punish teams, Six Nations stuff. So how that one goes will definitely be interesting. Can they get the injuries under control? Like I mentioned, is a pretty big question. But I would imagine Chiefs fans have got pretty high expectations. So does the kind of neutral media, just because Gats is such a big name to be bringing in as a coach. So, obviously I hope they do well. I kind of hope the Blues beat them because I'm a Blues man. But other than that, I hope they have a good year. I think playoffs is definitely a must for this squad. And looking at the Crusader squad, if there's a team that could potentially challenge them, maybe there's this Chiefs one. I guess we'll wait and see. Interestingly, there's been a bit of talk here when they've interviewed some of the assistant coaches at the Chiefs. They've basically said that, in all the preseason prep, they've kind of been left by Gatland to handle things until Gatland can really get over and get familiar with all the guys, and then he'll slowly kind of start to put his mold on the team. So I don't know if we'll see Gatland's impact immediately or whether it'll be a bit of a slow burner. But you guys let me know your thoughts on the Chiefs. How do you think the squad is going to go? Do you think there's any other weaknesses in the squad or any other areas you think they're going to do particularly well? And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.